Working off of your Community Manager dashboard, today we will be entering a new service request ticket when your resident comes to you or calls you saying they need work done in their apartment. We want to make sure that we're always keeping track of those, so it's a good tracking device here under our maintenance column of our dashboard. Right now we can see we have 6 make-ready units or units that are on notice. We have, under our pending work requests, we have a 0, and under our completed work order follow-up, we also have a 0. If we go all the way over here to the right side of our screen, this is going to be your new service request. So today I have a resident that's calling me saying that their front door is not latching. We are going to select new service request. Again, your property will auto-populate in. You're going to select the unit number. It will pop up. You're going to select it. And as soon as you click on the resident name, here in the pop-up, you will also see the name auto-populate in and select OK. This is going to give your maintenance personnel the direction where they need to go to complete the work order. Anytime they're contacting you, you always want to enter in a phone number as well as an email. So I'm just grabbing someone who's already in my system today. I have a phone number. I'm also going to enter in an email. Once that email has been listed in, I'm just going to verify it's apartment 301. The resident has auto-populated in. This is the best contact phone number and the email. I'm going to select next. That's going to take me to where I can enter in the information of the work request. So a brief description of the problem. So for instance, front door not locking. Something like this would be considered high priority. Something like a hinge on a cabinet or something of that nature would be under something I would call routine. So it's not going to be something that needs to be done super urgent, but again, within the next day or two, we'd want to make sure that we're following up on that. So today I'm going to select high. And then the only other portion on this page that I need to fill out is if the resident has given the okay to enter. If they tell you no, you're going to unselect that and you need to type something down here in the access notes, such as call before entering, come after 1 o'clock. You would want to make sure you enter those notes that are given to you. If they do not specifically tell you and you just say, I will enter the work order in, I would leave the okay to enter button automatically selected. You could type in a more detailed description here. So front door is not lining up to the strike plate, or whatever your resident is telling you. Once that is in, you just want to make sure if someone handed you this, would you know what needed to be done? So for instance, if you handed this to your maintenance guy and he was not told anything about it, would he be able to go to this apartment and take care of the problem from the description that you've entered in? Once you select save, it has now created a work order. At this point, if I go back to my home screen or my Community Manager dashboard, you will now see under the Maintenance tab that it says Pending Work Requests 1. At this point, you can let your maintenance personnel know that you have a work order that has come in. What I would do is I would go down to the work order number and select it, and I would edit this and change it to in progress, because now I've notified my maintenance personnel. We are now in progress of getting this work order completed. You as the manager will now need to log in to this tab portion on the bottom where it says labor. You need to select the employee. In most cases, we are going to just be assigning it to Yardi. So we've got Yardi assigned. Today is the date we received it. So we would want to select today's date as the start date. I would expect that today this could be completed or started by 4:15. I would also expect that today by 5:30 this should be completed. Because it is a front door latch, I would consider this to be something that would be of more of a high priority. At this point, you don't want to fill in the actual start date or times, because this is something that your maintenance personnel will fill in as they're working on the service request, and they will write in on their paper so you are able to complete this work request in a timely fashion. You can then go to the print option. You will print this screen and hand it to your maintenance personnel. At that point, you will log out of this portion of the work order. That takes you back to your community manager dashboard. Oh, excuse me. We're going to save this before we do that. And now we're going to go back up to the home screen. Again, it is still sitting here as a work request. Maybe it's 2 days later, whatever it is, when your maintenance person gets it back to you, you need to go back in and select that work request. Each and every work request that you have completed will show up on here. Just making sure that the status is updated as the work order is progressing along. If it is now completed, you need to select the work order number. You will need to edit this service request. You're going to change the service request to work completed, and then you are going to go down the page, and you need to enter in technician notes. Strike plate adjusted. There has to be technician notes. When you go into the labor tab, you also need to enter the actual date that the work order was started, as well as the time. And you need to put in the actual date that this work order was completed, as well as the time. Now I'm just clicking the hour and minute buttons so that this is entered in. You can type it in if you so choose, if that would make it easier for you. Now we have entered in, under the other info, we've entered in technician notes. We have gone into the labor and entered in our actual start date, time, finish date, and time. Now we're going to save that work order, and it is going to show up as work completed. If we go back to that home screen, you will now see that under pending work requests, we're at a 0, and our completed work order follow-ups has now turned to a 1. Within a day or two, so 24 to 48 hours, you as the manager are going to want to make sure you follow up with resident in 301 for David. It says work completed. You're going to call and make sure that everything is satisfactory. You're going to select the follow-up call completed, and now it does take it out of your queue for maintenance. That would be completing a service work request for a resident, as well as completing the work request out of your community manager dashboard.